fine over 50 grand and maybe some jail time. So that's the main difference. But the coolest thing about the islands around here is that we actually have one of the only stable and increasing populations of puffin in the world due to local and relative temperatures in the waters. Newfoundland specifically, the coastal waters of Newfoundland are one of the only places in the world, one out of I think 6 different places in the world, that haven't had their coastal waters increase over a full degree in the last 50 years. And the reason why that hurts other populations is because the fish that they feed on needs that cold water. And once the temperature rises, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, of course. And then the fish migrate, and the puffins have to go further, longer, more energy, more susceptible to things, and then that's pretty much what happens. Well, there's going to be lots of birds that we're going to see here as we go around the island. I'm going to tell you all about that as we see them. Now, before I talk about any of the birds, okay, because right now we're just going to have mostly bare rock face. So what I'm going to recommend is grab out anybody with, if you're looking to grab photos, you're going to want to grab a photo or a video of this beautiful boat just ahead of us, alright? Some people often desire for those nice background photos, those pretty gorgeous greens, reds, all those rusty colors. Anybody want to take a guess as to what we call this cove here? Puffin Cove, Color Cove, but you're not bad. It was pretty close. Yeah, that's Shit Rock Cove. Why you might ask? Well, there's not much else in there, alright? Yeah, pardon my potty milk, I don't need names. Alright. Well, like I said, it does make for some pretty good photos. And once we get on the side of it, guys, if you want to get up and have a few steps around to go see the stuff, more than welcome to. It should be a little bit more smooth. Alright, it's a bit choppy, but it's not too bad. And the sun is out, which makes it a little bit better. I'm walking around trying to get those photos up. It was raining earlier. So, like I said, I'm going to tell you all about birds on the island. There are a few species that are very prominent and densely populated on the island, so I'm going to tell you about them as we get to their designated habitat. So first and foremost, of course, I'm going to tell you all about the puffins. So puffins live up here in these grassy banks, and they're actually really curved, believe it or not. Does anybody see everybody see all those little humps and bumps here in the grassy banks? Anybody see what I'm talking about? Just as we're coming around the bend here, all these little holes in the hills. So those are in fact puffin burrows. Alright, so they do dig those burrows. They have inverted little hooks that hang from the top side of the bill, which they use for digging, but mostly it's used for hunting. They can catch several fish in one dive. Not necessarily at one time, but in one dive. And they have little nails on the bottom of their web feet in which they use to dig those burrows. Now the burrows themselves, the puffins dig them anywhere between 3 to 6 feet deep. Typically they go in an S or zigzag shape to keep predators out, and they open up in the back in 2 little compartments, one being living quarters, the other one being the bathroom. They actually do have 2 separate living areas, okay, and that's because they lay one egg here, and once that little puffin chick is hatched, it'll spend the remainder of the season inside of that burrow, never coming outside, okay, until it's time to leave the island for the whole year. Now puffins are in a classification of birds, as well as most of the other birds here on the island, called pelagic birds, okay, so pretty much what that means is that they're a seabird, and that they're going to spend most of their life, in fact, in about 8 months of every single year on the open ocean, bobbing wing over wing, day after day, never touching land, alright? So that's 8 months of the year, never touching land. Where do they go, you might ask? It's not a set migration. They are a migratory bird, but like I said, it's not a set migration. They go anywhere from the coast of Newfoundland, up to ice in England, as far down as Ireland and Scotland, and then across as far as the Mediterranean Sea, okay? So they have a very wide range that they can fly and swim. And then every single year, believe it or not, when they come back to the islands, not only does the puffin come back to the exact same island, but it will come back to the exact same room at the exact same weight. They're made of wood. Which is kind of cute. Cat darling, talking about little cat birds. Alright, now these birds, they can live to be about 20 to 23 years old, which is pretty impressive considering how little they are. So they have a pretty long lifespan. Every single year they're going to come in here and find they do an act called billing. So what billing is, it kind of looks like they're in a bit of a wrestling match. They'll latch their bills together, make lots of different ruffles and sounds. And they stumble down over the rocks and plop right down into the water. And that, of course, is where the magic happens. Alright? Now, said magic only lasts about 10 seconds. Okay? So let's do a little bit of math, shall we? So a puffin, it takes 4 years to sexually mature, okay? Meaning that it will not reproduce for the first 4 years of its life. So that's 16 years of reproduction once you take away the other years from the lifespan, 4 years away from the 20-year lifespan. Okay, so that's 16 years of breeding. They make once a year. Alright, so let's do a little bit of math. They make once a year, for 10 seconds a year, for 16 years. Like I said, some basic bed math. That adds up to a grand total of 160 seconds of puffin love for their entire life. Great South, okay, because they're chips. Okay, have any more questions on that? I'm sure you can understand now. Now, puffins are notorious for that beautiful orange bill, alright? But believe it or not, they don't have that bill for most of the year. Only during the breeding season will a puffin have that orange color on its bill. Just like a snake, these birds have the ability to shed a pigment layer of skin, but they only do it twice a year. Alright, and it's their hormones that kick in, and it lets them know that they need to come to or from the islands to reproduce or head back out to the open sea. So for most of the year, like I said, about 8 months, its bill is actually dull gray black. So, if you see a puffin in the wintertime, chances are you wouldn't even recognize it. And subsequently, like I said, puffin chicks for the first 4 years of their life, because they're not ready to reproduce, there's no point in their bill changing. So, the first time the bills change, that's when you realize that they're mature. But people often ask us why they come to these islands instead of just going into the shore. The reason is because these islands are called centrally located islands. Alright, so I'll explain what that means. So the islands are centrally located. First and foremost, meaning that they're far enough away from the shore that they do not need to deal with land mammals. Any mammals at all, in fact. Actually, there's no cats, rats, dogs, coyotes, bears, moose, caribou. There's nothing on this island that gives life. Okay? So that gives them a lot of protection. The only thing that they have to worry about is bigger birds. It's like I said, they're far enough away from land that they may not it's close enough to the land that it coincides with the arrival of the cake. Okay, they're hatching, the chicks hatching coincides with the arrival of their main food source. No one's familiar with what a camelid is. It's a small snowflake fish, but the length of your longest finger. It's silver in color. It looks like a big tail. Your mate's really good. Granddad's really good. So we straight up now for wild sevens. And then they live out there in the shallower waters, and they come in our beaches and bays in the summertime with full spine later days. So it's the hatching of their chicks. Hopping around the grass there. So those are your common seagull that you see in beaches, bays, roads, that kind of thing. They're loud, they'll take your food right out of your hand. Right? They're more a scavenger rather than a predator. They are not able to prey. If directly in a scavenger, however, if they're desperate times, they will try to hunt your puppy. But typically they're not very successful. So what they do is they'll perch outside the boat. So as you can see, they will wait for gets a free meal. Actually have the ability to swallow an adult-sized whole, and we've seen it before. I've actually seen them eat rabbits whole. And there is actually video footage of that. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. I've seen many videos, but I have also seen it personally. And well, like I said, they have the ability to swallow one whole, not to reserve energy. What they'll do is they'll snag a little puff and drag it down to the water, drown it, and pick it as a purpose. Right, I know that sounds gross. However, look at the eat. I'm sure some of us have had chicken this week. You gotta remember, chicken don't come from grocery stores. Love Shack. That's where he takes his mom on the weekends. Alright. We got a few flat screen TV under a couple of white couches. No, I'm just kidding, of course. For the biologists stay. They're the only people allowed on the island. And they come here between May 24th and Labor Day weekend. They're here to do lots of different research on the island. They'll conduct different surveys, tag puffins, and they do that, keep track of their migratory patterns, the health of the island. Then, of course, they'll relay their information to us to you guys. So we're going to come down in here, folks, to a place that we call the bus stop, alright? So we're going to get as close as we can. We're going to try anyways, it's a bit windy, but we're going to throw on the camera, and we're going to, Liam's going to go around everybody. A few people from the crowd to go for a very short walk. However, it's very quick. So put up your hands if anybody would like to go on the island for a few minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Trust me, I've been trying for years. Right? But like I said, I'm not looking for $50,000 fine today. No, thank you. No, in order to get on the island, you need government officials' permission, or team permission, and typically at the age of like 35 that can get out the island because they're not full-fledged biologists or students. I'm pretty sure that the young so they'll keep you to get on the island for a few weeks. But I'm going to turn off my mic for a few seconds, folks, because this is the closest we're going to get to the island. Give you guys a good opportunity to just listen, observe, and grab some photos.